Howdy, howdy. Having a little break. Beautiful day. Thank God. Makes all the difference. So obviously we're continuing to hear a lot about Russia, and from what I can see, ramped up aggression by the EU. And I just saw Donald Tusk saying that the EU would be in an arms race with Russia, and that we need to win that as well. On the flip side, I also hear today chats about the concern that China could invade Taiwan in the next few years. And that for me is a real big concern. And again, in my opinion, would be bigger threat than the whole Russia-Ukraine. How can we have that real credible threat? And in my opinion, China has been, for a long time, the main concern for the UK and the West. And literally be giving them billions to, well, not giving China, but giving billions to the Chagos Islands to leave and put us at a much more vulnerable position at a time that concerns are at their highest in and around that area, and the Chagos Islands military base is in an extremely important location for such an event. And we know China are increasing patrols in the Indian Ocean, building navy, etc. How do those two things go together? Surely, with such a credible threat, we would be keeping Chagos Islands internally and strengthening them then, and just embracing the importance of such a military position. And then the UK government are also apparently in talks about giving China a global hub in our capital. Like, how do all those things go together and make any sense? Again, people can say I'm bananas, but I personally don't feel a massive threat from Russia. Yep, there was a questionable poisoning situation quite a long time ago, but we've had many more problems with China again. Whether spies in government, problems with communication systems. They've infiltrated a lot of our universities' education system, bought things like water reserves, steelworks, really important infrastructure in our security, really. They've seen the West give all their money and military supplies to Ukraine, while China just sits there watching quietly. It's China that are in a lot of parts of Africa, taking hold in many places there. It's China who are, from what I hear, have been digging up much land for food production, which is one of the first things you do for war prep, so that you have complete food security for your people, unlike the UK. It's China who made a fortune during COVID. It's China who is making a fortune in net zero, as it laughingly sees us again close our industries, lose billions of money in jobs, in investment, and close our gas and oil fields and put ourselves at huge risk for food and fuel, and pretty much make us sitting ducks. Just the mind boggles how you can see this credible threat and continue to ignore it and embolden it. Now with Russia, I've gone on about that before. I only think Russia are interested in the very small amount of territory that they're in, because that territory has been bombarded for the last decade in warlike situations, and ethnic Russians have been under warlike conditions and horrific considerations with language being banned, religion, discrimination legalized, etc. We need to just get that done, because, and again, it's an extreme point of view, but how about we embrace Russia? As I said, I've not seen any other aggressive behavior from them. I don't think we've had any other problems in our country from them. They've asked to be part of NATO in the past, that was turned down. And we could, you know, China and Iran really are a huge threat. And Iran are very unhinged, and China is beyond powerful, and have taught kids from a young age about patriotism and military aspects, kept their education at a high level, only allowed them TikTok for an hour and it's all educational material while they give out dross to the West. They've really nurtured their young, and they've, you know, they are a real serious threat. And perhaps we need to look at whether we need to embrace Russia to come on side, because that would be the biggest wall, in my opinion. My brain's lost the word. That would potentially stop the likes of China considering taking any action. Anyway, just my ramblings for today. See you later.